Every night when my husband came home, there'd be a lipstick stain on his shirt. The first time, he said he'd bumped into someone on the street. I believed him. The second time, he claimed the new junior assistant had tripped and fallen against him. I believed that too. After a while the stains showed up more and more often, and he lost patience. Even bringing the assistant home. They're just lipstick prints. Why the hysterics? Don't you have anything better to do? I pay every bill in this house. What right do you have to question me? On the 99th night, I overheard him venting to the assistant. Marrying her was such a mistake. A stay-at-home wife is useless to me, and she still nags. This time I didn't confront him. I simply phoned home. I'll attend the heir announcement gala in 3 days. The moment I walked in I found Julian and Rosie giggling in the kitchen. The woman was curled inside the man's arms. President G. You're amazing. Julian sounded delighted. After setting the lid on the pot, he tapped her forehead with a fond, "You think everyone's as clumsy as you, little dummy." They played like newlyweds. Only when a maid cleared her throat did they notice me. Rosie scrambled out of Julian's arms. "I'm Serena. You're back." She secretly pinched Julian and stuck out her tongue. "We're doomed. She's definitely going to misunderstand." Julian's smile vanished. He shot me an irritated glare. "You walk in without even saying hello?" Before, I would have lost my temper and fought with him, but I had already given him 100 chances, and he'd used them to grind every scrap of love out of me. Whatever they did now had nothing to do with me. "I'm here to pick up something." "Where's the box that was on the table?" Julian frowned. "What box? Can't you look for it yourself? Grow up. Stop being a giant baby." In his eyes Rosie's silliness was adorable, while his own wife was nothing but an overgrown infant. I had sworn I was done, yet my heart still gave a painful throb. I drew a deep breath and pushed the ache down. I turned to the maid. "Where did you put the box?" The maid glanced uneasily at me, then at Rosie. Following her gaze, I saw the imperial green jadeite bangle sparkling on Rosie's wrist. I swapped it with President G. "Serena, you can't just grab it back. How can I steal what's already mine?" I almost couldn't breathe. How could she mouth such shameless words? Rosie hid her hands behind her back and appealed to Julian. The man sided with her at once. "It's only a bangle. Just buy another." "Serena, stop being so damn stingy." I couldn't help frowning. "That bangle is meant as a gift. I can give you anything except this." When I insisted on marrying Julian against everyone's wishes, Grandma was heartbroken. I'd chosen the bangle especially for her, hoping it would earn her forgiveness. Julian sneered. "It's fake anyway. Here, I'll pay you. 2,000 enough?" "It's not fake. A $200,000 bangle is hardly fake." The moment he heard the price Julian exploded. "Are you insane, Serena? Spending that much on a bracelet? What's wrong with you?" Rosie's pupils quaked. She stammered, "How could you spend so much?" "Serena, President G works so hard. Have some consideration." Something seemed to occur to Julian and the fire in his eyes dimmed a little. "Stop lying. Where would you get that kind of money? Do you even have the cash for something like this?" He had a point. Ever since last year he'd ridiculed me for being a stay-at-home wife and cut my allowance to $200. "You eat and sleep under this roof. What do you need cash for? 200 is plenty. Don't blow it, because I'm not giving you another cent." That same day he'd bought Rosie an $80,000 handbag. "I have the gem certificate right here. The money didn't come from you." When I showed him the certificate Julian lost it completely. "Serena, where did you steal it from?" "My account?" I froze. "What? If it's not mine, whose is it?" He motioned to the maid. "Search her. I break my back earning every dollar and she's out stealing?" "Sorry, ma'am." I stared in disbelief as the maid approached. "Julian, you really suspect me? Am I that contemptible in your eyes?" He seemed to forget he'd begged me to be a stay-at-home wife in the first place. "Snow, you're my princess. A princess belongs in a castle. Just stay beautiful and leave the rest to me." 2 short years and every sweet word had evaporated. I shoved the maid away. "Spare me your insults. The money came from my father." Tears spilled as I shouted. Julian froze, his eyes flickering. Whatever he meant to say stuck in his throat. Rosie piped up with faux innocence. "Isn't Serena's dad a laborer? Do laborers earn that much?" She scratched her head as if puzzled. "Or maybe the daddy she means isn't her real dad. You know, that kind of daddy?" Her hint reignited Julian's disgust. "Serena, you're disgusting. You're actually selling yourself? If you're that desperate, I can lend you my buddies," he added. "At least I know them." Each word was a knife twisting in my chest. "So this is what I'm worth to you?" I couldn't grasp how a person could change so fast. When we first met, Julian carried me across a flooded gutter so my new shoes wouldn't get wet. He fought a street thug for half an hour for catcalling me, then grinned through bruised lips. "See how badass your man is. Nobody gets to talk dirty to you. I'll kill anyone who tries. 2 years later, and he was the one talking dirty. How ironic. When I stayed silent, Julian's rage flared higher. So Rosie was right? Serena, have you no shame? Furious, he grabbed me to check my body for traces of another man. His grip was brutal. In moments my wrists were red. Before you interrogate me, maybe cover the hickey on your own neck? My resistance enraged him. You cheat on me and I'm not allowed to be angry? He ordered the maid to pin me down in the living room, finding my skin spotless. Julian finally relaxed. Good. At least you haven't cuckolded me. I stood in nothing but underwear while 7 or 8 people watched, or helped strip me. Humiliation crashed over me. I blinked back tears and dressed myself. Now will you give the bangle back? Serena, stop bullying President G. I'll return it. He's such a good man. Why keep saying things that make people think he's done something awful? Rosie jumped in, spouting nonsense. They bullied me, yet claimed I bullied Julian. The ability to lie with a straight face was something I'd never master. I just wanted the bangle so I could leave. The last thread of affection Julian held snapped the moment he let them tear my clothes off. There was nothing left for me here. Silly Rosie. If you like the bangle, then keep it. Let's see what she dares to do. Rosie teared up at once. President G. I know I'm not smart, but I just hate seeing you angry. Julian's face softened in pity. Rosie sniffed and began to slide the bangle off. The green circle wouldn't pass her hand. It seems stuck. What do we do? Try hand cream. Hey, that might work. As I pulled the cream from my bag, Rosie smiled. Before I could react, she slammed her wrist down on the marble counter. Crack. The jadeite bangle split in two. My heart turned to ice. Rosie squatted down happily, picked up the 2 halves of the jadeite bangle from the floor, and held them out to me. Here, Lee, your bangle is back. I completely fell apart. I couldn't stop the low roar that tore out of me. Are you an idiot? Who told you to smash the bangle? In an instant, Rosie's eyes filled with tears. She hit against Julian's chest. Wronged. I just wanted to give the bangle back to you. I didn't think that far. And I've always been a little dumb. Lee, please don't hit me. I wanted nothing more than to hack her into pieces right then. But Julian shielded her, blocking my way. Stop yelling. You're scaring her. It's only a broken bangle. Just go buy another one. It was a fake to begin with, and you're acting like it was real. Serena, why are you so vicious? You're obviously trying to make things hard for Rosie. She's too kind to see it, but I can see the ugly look on your face. I knew that nothing I said would make him believe me. Julian's heart had already been conquered by Rosie. What I had to do now was hurry up and find Grandma a new gift. Let's divorce. The moment I said it, Julian lost his composure. What kind of craziness are you pulling now? He let out a cold laugh, the corner of his mouth curling in pure disdain. Don't think I don't know what you're scheming. A retreat in order to advance. You actually think I'll panic? Keep dreaming. I tugged the corners of my mouth. Whatever I do, in your eyes, it's always a trick. Julian shot back. Isn't it? I'll have the divorce papers sent over in a couple of days. When I finished, I walked straight out. Behind me came his furious voice. Serena, think you've grown wings? Huh, fine. At the Lee family gathering the day after tomorrow, I'm bringing Rosie. Since you love misunderstanding us, let everyone misunderstand together. Get lost, and stay lost. Rosie's delighted voice spilled out. The Lee family. Why, the richest in Eastbrook. I get to see how the other half lives. President G. Oh, you're so good to me I could die of embarrassment. What they didn't know was that I was the Lee family's heir. 3 years ago, for Julian's sake, I'd voluntarily given up my inheritance, and could only claim to come from an ordinary family. Grandma had been right. Julian wasn't worth entrusting my life to. Fortunately, it wasn't too late. I still had a way back. I picked out a new jadeite bangle and took it with me. Of all the lousy luck. The instant I stepped into the grand, I saw Julian with Rosie. What are you doing here? Without a second word, Julian tried to hustle me out. Today is an important day for the Lee family. If I can get close to their heir. In short, don't make trouble. When we get home you can file for divorce or hang yourself for all I care. So he was afraid I'd expose him and Rosie in public. I stepped back, putting distance between us. I'm here on business. It has nothing to do with you. Julian scoffed, plainly disbelieving. Rosie's arm stayed threaded through Julian's. No intention of letting go. Lee, how did you know we'd be here today? Don't tell me. You secretly put a GPS tracker on President G? At that, Julian's face flashed with disgust. Serena, your methods are downright dirty. I was almost laughing from sheer anger. Weren't you two the ones who deliberately let me over here? Besides, wherever you go has nothing to do with me. What did you say? Julian narrowed his eyes, mouth pulling downward. You're my wife, how is it none of your business? So he still remembered I was his wife. Then what was with him keeping Rosie at his side? From sharing lunch at first, to taking her home, to kissing her without the slightest shame. Thank heaven Julian hadn't knelt and begged forgiveness, thoroughly gutting my heart. Otherwise I might not have had the resolve to leave him. If you won't leave on your own, don't blame me for showing you no face. Julian called security straight away. This person wasn't invited. Please escort her out. Rosie covered her mouth in fake shock. Oh, how mortifying. I told Lee to leave on her own, but she refused. Now she's got to be thrown out. Ignoring them, I addressed the guard. I'm Serena. This banquet is being held for me. The guard rolled his eyes. What snow you are is none of my business. No gilded invitation. Get lost. After barking at me, he turned to Julian with a fawning smile. President G, don't worry. I'll throw this bitch out. Obviously, he knew who Julian was. He wasn't one of Grandma's people. I tried to explain. If I don't have an invitation, how did I get in? You can't just take his word. Before I could finish, the guard cut me off impatiently. I know, President G. Who the hell are you? Snow. You don't look like good news. Scram before I smack you. Lee, you're hilarious. Rosie burst into giggles. Just because your last name is Mike doesn't mean you're related to the Lee family. She pouted. President G, maybe we should take Lee to see a shrink some other day. Julian laughed at her expression and pinched her cheek. All right, whatever you say. When he looked at me again, his face was all impatience. Serena, get out now and stop disgracing yourself. I lifted the box so they could see. This jadeite bangle is Grandma's gift. If I didn't have an invitation, why would I bring something so valuable? Rosie giggled. Lee, I told you your bangle had to be fake. All that nonsense about 200 grand. You bought a new one so fast? Must be some street stall knockoff. I'm not that dumb. Julian tapped her head playfully. You, not dumb. You stir up trouble for me every day. Rosie stuck out her tongue, playing cute. Oh, President G, don't expose me like that. The two of them carried on flirting as if I weren't there. Perfectly at ease. Good. Julian had ground my love down to nothing. You don't believe me. Wait until the Lee family arrives. Serena. Julian cut me off. Irked. Can you stop humiliating me? I frowned. How am I humiliating you? His face darkened. People already know my wife is a stay-at-home wife. That's shameful enough. A country bumpkin like you shouldn't crash this kind of event, okay? If anyone I know finds out you're my wife, where can I show my face after this? Rosie is all I need on my arm tonight. Rosie patted her chest, brimming with confidence. Lee, don't let my cluelessness fool you. President G has taken me to 100 banquets like this. I can handle it perfectly in 2 years of marriage. Julian had taken me to exactly 3 banquets, and he'd taken Rosie to this many. I really didn't know which of us was his wife, but it didn't matter anymore. Julian, I'm done with you. Who he chooses to bring where is his business. If you insist on being fools, I can't help that. I turned to leave with the box, but my wrist was yanked hard. I looked back. Rosie was glaring at me, cheeks puffed. Lee, be good. Stop causing President G trouble. I snapped. Let go. She shook her head, refusing. Fine. No more hesitation. I shoved her. Thud. My body slammed to the floor. The jadeite bangle flew from the box and shattered. A shard sliced into my palm. Blood welled up instantly. Tears stung my eyes. Before I'd even touched Rosie, Julian rushed over and kicked me away, cradling her. He berated me. She's still a kid. How can you be so vicious? A kid. Rosie was only 1 year younger than me. Since when was that a kid? I pushed myself up with my uninjured hand. You broke my bangle again. That's $2 million. How will you pay? Julian sneered. A fake bangle. And you dare to blackmail me? Both bangles came with gem certificates. Check if you don't believe me. Rosie finally panicked. She was just a junior assistant. She could never afford that kind of money. Tears streamed down her face. I'm still young. Lee, please don't joke like this, okay? Serena, stop making a scene. Wait, you're bleeding. When he saw Rosie cry, Julian had been ready to curse me, but his gaze flicked to my bleeding hand. He sighed in exasperation. All right, Serena, look at the mess you've gotten yourself into again. I was almost laughing from sheer anger. And whose fault is it that I'm in this state? If they hadn't barged over, I would have handed the jadeite bangle to Grandma ages ago. Both times it shattered were because of them, yet they turn around and claim I brought the mess on myself. My nails dug into my palms so hard I forced the fire back down. If Grandma found out, she'd cry for me again. Julian, what's going on? After the commotion, half the grand had turned to stare. Anyone who knew Julian came straight over to ask if he needed help. He waved them off. Just ran into a woman with no gilded invitation who insists on hanging around like she belongs. The crowd lost its composure, especially the ones who needed favors from Julian. They leapt to scold me. Lady, would you please leave? Security's been paging you. Are you deaf? I heard her demanding 200 grand from Julian. TSK. Women these days. Look in a mirror before you open that mouth. Julian's money isn't for you, it's for Rosie's next Birkin. Exactly. Julian and Rosie are made for each other. This one's just jealous and desperate for attention. Rosie's cheeks ached from grinning. Oh, stop. I'm not that special. Lee kept provoking Julian. I couldn't even help him. Her tone dripped First Lady authority. Julian spoke again. Serena, go home. Stop humiliating yourself. I shook my head. No. His face darkened. Teeth clenched. Don't push your luck. What do you gain by staying? The second you sign, we're divorced. Whatever I do is none of your business. He snorted. I know exactly what game you're playing. Serena, you can't bear to divorce me. Why not behave for once? When the guests learned I was his wife, the whispers died. Julian dragged me into a corner. Does your hand still hurt? I stared. What do you want? He pulled out a monogrammed handkerchief to wipe my knuckles. I jerked away. The same rag you used to clean her, I gunk. Keep it. His hand froze, guilt flickering across his face before he pocketed the cloth. You saw? Hard not to, when Julian dabbed Rosie's eyes. Her giggles echoed halfway across the grand. I knew you were jealous. He leaned against the wall, sighing. She's young. I spoil her a little. Indulge her. But relax. G is still you. No outsider can touch your throne. So stop with the petty jealousy. So you finally admit it wasn't a misunderstanding? From the very first time I caught them, he'd sworn they were innocent. Julian's breath hitched, irritation leaking through. That's all you have to say? What else is there? I mean, can't the two of you get along? One runs the home. The other keeps me happy. The three of us could live like that forever. Serena, I know you love me. You can't stand hurting me, right? He thought my feelings were leverage, but whatever love I'd had for him had already burned to ash. The Qing dynasty fell ages ago, yet he still dreams of concubines. If I agreed today, tomorrow he'd parade Wang Luo Yuan, Zhang Luo Yuan. It's only ever been a test of how much I'll grovel. Not happening. You'll sign those divorce papers whether you like it or not. My flat refusal shredded his last patience. Who do you think you are? Serena, the Lee heiress? I am. He sneered. Shared last name, shared delusion. Enjoy the fantasy. Quit the act and take the ladder I'm offering. Everyone knows you're crazy about me. Your parents skipped our wedding. You cut them off just to marry me. And now you claim you want divorce. Who'd buy that? Everyone pays for youthful stupidity. Cutting family ties for love didn't win his pity. It convinced him I was desperate. Luckily, I woke up before it was too late. Julian, the divorce papers will be delivered tomorrow. Sign them. When I turned to leave, he grabbed my arm and barked, security, remove this woman. Then, low enough for only me to hear, you won't give up until you hit rock bottom. Let's cure your jealousy right here, right now, in front of all these people. I'll have you tossed out. Let's see you posture after that. A guard rushed over, seized my hair, and yanked me toward the exit. I waited until his groin was in range and slammed my heel up. He crumpled, howling and cupping himself. Team C, disturbance at the exit. He shrieked. He glared through tears. Bitch, you're dead. Rosie played stunned ingenue. How could you hit someone? Lee, you fake being a Lee. Then assault staff? You're nothing but a walking embarrassment for Julian. Julian played the disappointed husband. Serena, why push things this far? Behave. For once. If you love me, you should give me what I want. I smoothed my hair and laughed in his face. A harem. Sorry. Shop elsewhere. What's going on? Two more guards arrived. The one on the floor pointed, voice trembling. That woman, no gilded invitation, refused to leave. Then attacked me. The captain's face darkened. You dare throw punches on my watch? Today is the Lee heir announcement gala, and you pick now to act up. Do you think a miss, eldest miss? He blinked, kicked the fallen guard. Moron. That's the eldest Lee. Spinning to me. He bowed. Apologies. He's new. Never met you. Everyone froze. Rosie stammered. No way. Another actor she hired? I laughed outright. Still think it's theater. Rosie, are you really that dense? Or just committed to the role? She darted behind Julian. He stared. Voice low. You, Serena. You're serious? What's all the shouting? The crowd parted. Cousin wheeled Grandma forward. The 80-something matriarch's eyes reddened the instant she saw me. You rotten girl. Finally decided to show up. I knelt in front of her. Your unworthy granddaughter is back. She clasped my hands. Home now. Off the floor, the marbles cold. Waited forever and you're late. Something held you up? I gave her the short version. Humph. My girl gets hassled in her own house. Who screwed this up? Rosie was trembling, lips bloodless. Julian stepped forward, voice stiff. Grandma, I'm Serena's husband. She never introduced us. I've long wanted to pay my respects. G will do. We're hardly family. Grandma's aura rolled over him like a tank. Even Julian, veteran of 1,000 boardrooms, broke a sweat. He shot me a pleading glance. Serena, tell Williams who I am. You should have brought me to meet Grandma ages ago. I rolled my eyes. And subject her to the sight and sound of you. Pass. Still shifting blame, as if I'd chained him away from my family. Good thing these are my people. Otherwise I'd be roasting on their spit right now. Grandma squeezed my hand, never sparing Julian a glance. You're home now, child. No one dares touch you. Point out every single soul who bullied you, and I'll back whatever retribution you choose. Our girl marries out and comes back skin and bones if they harass her on our turf. Imagine what she endured in his house. My heart warmed in an instant. Grandma had always doted on me, no matter what, yet I'd stubbornly married Julian, never knowing how many tears she'd wiped away behind my back. Throwing a guest out because of a few careless words, security like yours doesn't deserve to stay in Eastbrook, I said. The guard's face turned bloodless, hands cupped over his crotch as he begged, Miss, I was wrong. Please, let me go. My whole family depends on me. He kept bawling while two men dragged him out. I turned my gaze back to Rosie. Don't look at me, she stammered. I didn't mean it. I spoke calmly. Pay me for the jadeite bangle. Rosie burst into tears. I don't have that kind of money. You can't throw your weight around just because you're rich. You break it. You buy it. That's the rule. Can you really bear to leave me? Before I could answer, Grandma jumped in. Oh, so now that my Serena has money, you regret the divorce? Humph. She smacked the armrest. Forget it. If you refuse, Grandma knows a few underhanded tricks. Julian's face drained of color. Through clenched teeth he hissed, Fine. I'll sign. With his consent, Grandma and I mounted the stage. Grandma announced to the crowd that from this day forward, every share of the dynasty holdings would pass to me. Julian glared daggers the entire time, ignoring Rosie when she tried to speak. 30 days after signing the divorce papers, we met at City Hall to make it final. Julian looked haggard, usually immaculate. He now wore 2 days of stubble and eyes shot red. Well played, Serena. Pretending to be broke just to test me? When did I ever pretend? I'd never hidden my wealth. I'd simply told my family to cut me off when I chose him. He'd never asked about my background, so I assumed it didn't matter. He drew a ragged breath. If it wasn't a test, how could you stomach being a stay-at-home wife? Thrilled to divorce me, aren't you? No, marrying me was the joke. You wanted a front row seat? I shook my head. I never laughed at you, Julian. Once, I truly loved you. Loved that you'd stay up brewing brown sugar tea for me. That you'd race home for dinner no matter how tired. Then one day I couldn't feel your love anymore. Julian stared at the floor. Emotions unreadable. We did love each other, I went on, but you changed. So much you won't even believe we ever did. He kept shaking his head. If you weren't testing me, why play housewife? You're the one who begged me to. Silence. As I turned to leave, he blurted, You still love me, Serena. Admit it. Come back and I'll take you. Do you want the old Serena, or the heiress? The stay-at-home wife he'd scorned for earning nothing. The heiress who could open doors for him. Clearly the latter. Too bad I couldn't give it. He fell quiet again, and I slid into the car. Only when it vanished did Julian look away. Even he no longer knew which Serena he wanted. I dove into running the dynasty. 2 months later I heard Julian had gone bankrupt. He was a bastard, but competent. How could he collapse so fast? Grandma spelled it out, his Riverdale can't rival ours. After that spectacle, everyone thinks he's crossed us. They cut ties to save themselves and curry favor with us. I sighed. I hadn't even lifted a finger. Cousin told me that after the bankruptcy Rosie feared Julian would demand the $4 million back, so she fled overnight. Apparently, the sweet dimwit act had limits. Without Julian, she latched onto another Riverdale. Same tricks. Trip into the boss's arms. Accidentally eat his lunch. Unfortunately, she picked a workaholic who despised bunglers when she mistakenly shredded a $10 million contract. He sued. To pay the judgment, she had to sell the condos Julian bought her and every designer bag, then slink out of Eastbrook for good. The next time I saw Julian, he'd stood in the freezing wind 3 hours waiting for me. Serena, you finally agreed to see me. He reached to hug me. My bodyguard blocked him. His face flushed and paled. He couldn't yell at me anymore. Still angry? I almost laughed. Angry about what? Eyes red. He said, I shouldn't have shut you out for Rosie. I've realized I love you, whichever Serena you are. And you love me, or you'd be dating by now. I'm swamped. Julian, after 3 years away, I'm reclaiming the dynasty holdings. Not everyone withers without romance like you. He refused to believe it. Stop lying. You're waiting for me. I apologize. Let's start over. I swear I'll never hurt you again. He dropped to his knees. Rosie seduced me and I lost my head. I swear it won't happen again. Serena, let's make up. I cut him off. Spare me. Your Riverdale collapsed. You can't get a loan, so you're here playing devoted. His pupils dilated. His lips trembled before he could speak. That's not it. I'm shattered. Yes, but it made me face my feelings. I love you, only you. He looked so earnest any onlooker would ache for him. Too bad my heart had turned to stone. So, he froze. What? What do you mean? You love me, so I must take you back. What exactly is your love worth? Pain flooded his eyes. He gave a bitter smile. You still won't forgive me. Good, then stop bothering me. As the bodyguard and I walked off, Julian shouted, Serena, I love you. I won't give up. True to his word, he engineered coincidences, white lilies in hand. Any love for me today, Serena? Once he burst into a client meeting with flowers and nearly killed the deal. I'd had enough. As Grandma said, we know a few dirty tricks too. I had him escorted out of Eastbrook. Later I heard he tried to restart elsewhere, only to be conned on a loan and lose a kidney. After that, silence. I finally accepted the marriage Grandma arranged. She'd chosen well. Ethan was gentle, considerate, let me call every shot. Only after Grandma passed did I realize Ethan was the dark-skinned kid I used to play with. He'd loved me since childhood but never dared confess. When I married, he left for abroad, heartbroken. The moment he heard I was divorced, he flew back. Serena, I finally got to marry you. I know no one will ever hurt me again.